All right, today we are jumping into a story that, I'm telling you, it has everything. You got a family business that goes completely sideways, accusations of theft, a super high-stakes negotiation, and even a high-speed chase across the desert. And no, this isn't some new thriller movie. It's an ancient story about two guys, Jacob and Laban, whose very complicated relationship is about to just completely implode. Okay, let's get into it.
I mean, just think about that for a second in today's world. Imagine working for your father-in-law for 20 years, making him rich, and then one day you just decide, I've had it. So you pack up your entire family, all your assets, literally everything you own, and you bolt in the middle of the night. That right there is the incredible drama at the very heart of this story.
So you might be asking, how on earth did it get this bad? Well, for 2 decades, Jacob has been working for his father-in-law, Laban. But after all that time, this relationship, which was once, a source of family and fortune, has just totally soured.
Yeah, Jacob is feeling the heat from all sides. It's like a perfect storm is brewing. First, he starts overhearing his brothers-in-law, Laban's sons, talking trash about him, saying he's stolen all the family wealth. Then, he can just see it in Laban's face. That old trust is just gone. And then, the final piece, he gets a message from God telling him, hey, it's time. Pack it up and go home. His situation is becoming completely untenable.
And if you want to get to the real heart of Jacob's complaint, look no further than this number. 10. 10 times. This isn't just, a one-time little disagreement. We're talking about a long pattern of exploitation. Can you imagine your boss changing your salary 10 different times just to screw you over? This one number tells a whole 20-year story of bad faith and broken promises.
And here's what's so crucial. Jacob isn't just going rogue here. He goes to his wives, Rachel and Leah, who are Laban's own daughters, remember, and he lays out the whole situation. And their response? It is immediate and it is powerful. They feel just as betrayed. They basically see themselves as assets that their dad sold off and then he just spent all the money. So yeah, they are 100% on board with the escape plan.
Okay, so the stage is set. With his whole family behind him, Jacob makes his move. And this is not just a quiet, see you later. Nope. This is a carefully planned, secret escape. And he's taking his wives, his children, and 2 decades worth of flocks and herds with him.
But this is where the story takes a huge twist. While Laban is conveniently off shearing his sheep, Rachel does something that Jacob doesn't even know about. She steals her father's household gods. Now, these weren't just little statues on a shelf. They were basically like the deed to the family property, a symbol of who was in charge. To steal them, that turns a family fight into a furious manhunt.
And just like that, the chase is on. Jacob gets a solid 3-day head start, but Laban, who is absolutely furious, gets his relatives together and just pursues him relentlessly. For 7 straight days, they track him across the country until finally, bam, they catch up to him in the hills of Gilead.
Can you just picture that moment? The dust is settling, you've got these 2 big camps set up facing each other. The massive confrontation that has been brewing for years is finally here, and Laban is seething.
But something happened while Laban was on the road. The night before he catches Jacob, he gets a warning in a dream from God, basically telling him, don't you dare harm Jacob. So Laban shows up with all this power, ready to do some serious damage, but he's been divinely told to back off. This means the fight is going to be a war of words, not swords.
And their argument is just explosive. Laban just unloads on him, accusing him of being a liar, of kidnapping his own daughters. Jacob shoots right back, saying he only ran because he was terrified Laban would take his family away from him by force. But then Laban gets to his real point. Okay, fine. But why did you steal my gods? And Jacob, who has no idea what Rachel did, confidently says, if anyone in my camp has them, they can be put to death.
And that's all Laban needs to hear. The search is on. He's determined to prove Jacob as a liar and a thief. He starts tearing through the entire camp, and he begins with Jacob's own tent.
He comes up completely empty. You can just feel the tension building. He moves on to Leah's tent, rummages through everything, still nothing. He checks the servants' tents. The possibilities are getting slimmer and slimmer, and Laban is getting more and more desperate.
So finally, he goes into Rachel's tent. And there she is, the actual thief. Just sitting there, completely calm, on her camel's saddle. The stolen gods are literally right there, hidden underneath her. This is it, the moment of truth. And with this incredibly clever excuse, Rachel just shuts the whole search down. By bringing up a really powerful cultural taboo, she stops her father cold. He can't ask her to stand up, he can't search where she's sitting. It's an absolutely brilliant deception. Laban is completely stumped. His one big accusation has just evaporated into thin air, and he's left with absolutely nothing.
And now that Jacob has been proven innocent, oh, the tables turn. It's Jacob's turn to get angry, and he unleashes 20 years of pent-up frustration. He goes through all of it, his loyal service, the tough conditions he worked in, the financial losses he personally covered, and he brings it all back to that one core injustice. You changed my wages 10 times. It is a powerful, detailed takedown of Laban's entire character.
You know, after an emotional explosion like that, the whole energy just shifts. Everything is out in the open, there's nothing left to yell about. So Laban, totally defeated, pivots. He goes from conflict to negotiation. It's time to make a deal.
And they don't just, shake hands on it, they make what's called a covenant. And it's really important to understand what this is. It's not a modern contract. This is a solemn, sacred pact made right there before God, designed to stand forever as a witness to their agreement. This thing carries some serious weight.
The terms of their treaty are both physical and spiritual. They put up a pillar of stone and they pile up a heap of stones to be a literal, physical boundary line. Then they make a vow, I will not cross this line to harm you, and you will not cross it to harm me. And finally, they take an oath, calling on God to witness the whole thing and to make sure Jacob treats Laban's daughters right. This is all about creating a permanent separation to guarantee peace in the future.
And with that covenant made, the conflict is finally, truly over. The next morning, all that anger is gone. Laban says a proper goodbye to his daughters and grandchildren, the very thing he accused Jacob of stealing from him, and then he just turns around and goes home. The 20-year partnership is officially done.
So this incredible ancient story ends with them building a very clear physical boundary to end a really toxic family conflict. And it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? In our own complicated relationships, sometimes the only way to find peace isn't to try and come together, but to agree on a healthy way to stay apart. What do those piles of stones look like for us today?